2, 1.
There we are. Boom.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Boom is right. Josh, you've been a little bit under the weather this week. I've been a little bit under the weather this
Man.
week. I know it seems like everybody is a little bit under the weather. So let Josh
It's
and
a
I just apologize from the beginning of the show for our resonant baritone voices.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is it's almost like we have some kind of pandemic going
Right.
around. Like everybody's getting sick. It's wild.
Right. I saw it was funny. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, I'm going to feed into your conspiracy theory here with this, but I saw somebody like post a headline the other day that, flu returns in 2022 after taking a mysterious year off. And that was even a little bit rich for me to be able to stomach because, look, I'm pretty moderate on all this. I think that both sides are way overhyping this a whole lot, and that was just that was a hilarious headline. So to everybody out there, our dear listeners, our dear viewers who are sick and not feeling well, or have friends and family who are sick and not feeling well, we hope that you feel better. Josh and I's goal is to have this show once a week in 2022, and
Oh,
so
dude,
we
you
wanted
you just
to.
ruined the surprise. The whole surprise.
Oh,
We gotta tease it out here, Judah. Come on.
we should have talked about this. We should have talked about it ahead of time.
I
There's so
know,
much that
right?
we did talk about that I missed. That was one of the
Nah, I'm
things that.
just kidding.
So go ahead, make the announcement,
Well,
Josh.
yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna be back on the air in 2022 consistently every Thursday at noon. We'll be coming to you live and talking about real estate investing, where you should put your money. Let's look at the economy, all that kind of fun stuff. And we're going to have some great guests along the way. I think it's pretty cool that this Thursday, the very first show of the 2022 is going to be our 200th show, which is
Yes.
pretty exciting on our side. But listen, if it's your first time seeing the show, my name is Josh Weidman, and this guy over here is Judah Hoover. Judah is a real estate agent, property manager, and real estate extraordinaire at Home 365. I'm a hard money lender with Hard Money Bankers. If you need some money or you need to buy or sell a home, we're the guys to talk to. In the meantime, we're going to dig into real estate and what matters. And today, because it's the last day of the year, we're going to jump into our New Year's Eve special.
Planning for massive growth in 2022. Yeah, I,
That's
I
right.
love it. That's actually one of the things that that I picked up from Tony Robbins. I went to see Tony Robbins speak live, and I learned as much from Tony Robbins live on a 3-day seminar as I had every book, tape, or seminar I had read up to that point. This was like
Yeah.
in my mid to early 20s, the first time I saw Tony Robbins speak, and it was just life changing. And he talks about setting goals and then taking massive and immediate action. Start doing something to get you committed to that. So that's what we're going to talk about today: is what massive goals do you have for 2022 in your business, in finance, in weight, in family, in relationship, in career, at church, spiritual. What
Dude.
all levels. What are the massive goals that you have planned for 2022?
Yeah, and also not just setting goals. Look, you can go anywhere to set goals. You go online and type in something about New Year's goal setting and how do I do it. We've done shows like that before. This is about taking massive action and making big change. I mean, right now we just hit a goal of mine is to increase our interactivity on our comments. And here we have our
I,
first spam
I
from
was going to
from
say,
YouTube.
this is great. I was just getting ready to say. So, Josh, we got to we got a Sista 19 LOL.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the YouTube channel or YouTube channel spamlicious. Anyway,
Here's the problem that I have, Josh. At some point along the way here, I got dropped as an admin. So, like, I've been of our
oh, you
like
can't
our
see it?
199 shows. No, I can see it. I just can't delete it. You've got to be the one to you've got to be
Well,
the one to
listen,
delete
that's our
that.
only comment, guys. Jump in here and start talking. All right. So
Right.
look, let's jump in here and let's talk about some things that we've got to look at for 2022. Like, Judah, one thing that we often do, I know myself, I often do, is I don't stop to take a look back, because looking back, it can be a good guide to moving forward here. So let's start there. What are you looking forward to in 2022?
Oh my goodness, so much. I mean, the first and foremost, on a personal level, I took a really great trip with the kids in 2021, and I'm looking
Hmm.
forward to doing some more travel again in 2022. I'm also looking forward to getting some more work done on my house. One of the things that I did is I bought a personal residence this year, and just because of how crazy everything has been, I got a really great house in a really great neighborhood for a really great price that needs some work to it.
Yeah.
And so I actually have electricians here today at my house getting some work done.
Awesome.
So yeah, so those are some of the personal things that I'm looking forward to.
Sure.
You tell me on a personal level, then I'll go business. You go.
Well, okay, yeah. So, a couple things. First and foremost, we were talking about this last week. I think we were talking on the phone, and I told you I shared something with you that's kind of going on in my life. Like, I started coaching high school and middle school kids, right? And
Right,
I that
wrestling.
started in wrestling. Yeah, that started last summer, and it's really become a place that I've found I feel most at home in the world, right? It's like I walk into the wrestling room and the stink of the mats and the dingy, humidity in the air. Like, I don't know why, but that just feels like home to me. And so in 2022, one thing that I'm really excited about is continuing to work with these young men and young women that are out for the sport, that in a sport that I really love. And it really feeds my soul, and it's not something that it certainly isn't a moneymaker. So not like real estate, but it's a great opportunity for me. I look at it and I say, you know what, 2022 is going to be great because I'm already seeing development both in my own sons and and these other kids that I'm working with, and it really it feeds my day. It gets me out of bed in the morning, and it's one of those things I really love. Johnny, what's going on, man? Great to
Yeah,
see
so
you.
Johnny
Thanks for
Johnny says
joining.
it right there that how, coaching can be life-changing for kids, yours and
Yep.
others. And I love that you said, you use it to feed your soul because there's a lot of what we do that can just be soul crushing sometimes. Listen,
That's
I
absolutely
manage 7,000 units for third party property management is the my number one gig, and I got to tell you it is just brutal
yeah.
sometimes
Yep.
because no one calls their property manager and says thanks. No tenant, no owner. You know
And to be
the the,
fair,
the
to be fair, it's like that for every industry. It just so
right.
happens that property management, you get chirped at from both sides, and they're not nice chirps.
No, they are certainly not. So I didn't want to derail the conversation there. I just wanted to say that I resonate with the importance of having things in your life that mean and that feed your soul, that give you a little bit more energy, give you a little bit more gumption to keep on going.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, what part of 2021 are you happy to see behind you?
Well, two things, bittersweet. I'm really happy to see a merger behind me.
Yeah,
So, my company and another company merged. We had about 5,000 units. They had about 1,000 units. We've merged, and we've added some units since then. Now we've got about 7,000. That's why I'm now at Home 365 as opposed to Slate House Group. So we had all the staff and we had all the units, and we were the much bigger company, but we liked their name better. So when we merged, we decided to keep their name. But I got to tell you, man, merging companies is not fun.
yeah.
It's great on the other side. What comes out of it? It's almost like the difference between like planning a vacation and being on vacation, planning a wedding and being, and
That's so funny.
having the wedding. It just is rough.
Well,
So
a lot
having
of
the merger
times.
behind me is
Oh, well,
wonderful.
on that, to piggyback in on that, I don't know if you remember. when Comcast had such a terrible reputation for service.
Yep.
And the reason for that is not that they didn't care, but they were on a growth plan. And it was like, I'm going to absorb this company and then
Right.
this one and then this one. And like you're saying, like you're taking on all the chaos of that other company and trying to make it conform to your structure. And in the meantime, you're talking about different softwares, different understanding, different, different strengths and weaknesses for different team members and things like that. And that's a lot of integration, and you're not Comcast, but you're hoping to be, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, Comcast is just a behemoth. It's crazy how big they got.
Yep.
We probably won't be quite that big. Verizon is one of the backers of our company, though. So,
You never know.
Verizon has invested some money. I don't think Comcast has. I have to look at the equity stack a little bit to see that. But yeah, so that's actually dovetails in with one of the things that back to what I'm looking forward to in 2021 or 2022 on a
Yep.
business perspective is I just we've got about 7,000 units right now. The goal is to wrap up the year around 20,000. We're gonna 3x in 2022, and I am very much excited to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Uh, I'm looking at 2021 and I'm saying goodbye. On a personal note, I'm looking forward to saying goodbye to a pandemic and welcome in what's it called? An endemic? No, that's not it.
Endemic,
What the heck is it? And basically maintenance phase. We're not shutting anything
right,
down.
right,
Everybody's going to get sick. We're all going to get treated, and life's going to go on as normal. I'm looking
yep.
forward to that on one side. On the other thing that I'm really looking forward to is that I feel like with the hard money space and with lending in general, I think that there's been a lot of there's been a lot of activity. There's been a lot of people throwing. I don't know if you ever look for a hard money loan and you post something on a Facebook page, you get 50 responses, and of the 50 responses, 45 of them call me when they have when they get the lead on the loan to fund it. I think there's a lot of shysters out there just in general, and I'm looking for actually a little bit of a slow. I'm looking forward to a little bit of a slowdown in the real estate market, and I don't think that we're going to have crashes and burns like many have predicted. But I think in 2022, I think that we're going to return to something that looks a little bit more normalized. You know,
That's what passes for optimism from Josh Weidman, ladies and
oh,
gentlemen.
no, you
We're gonna
misunderstand.
have a real estate slowdown next year, not a crash.
Well,
That is the most optimistic sentiment we've gotten out of Josh Weidman
Judah.
in 199 shows.
Well, Judah, I mean, look, we're at a point right now where the car is going down the hill, right? If you don't tap the brakes, it's going to smash into the mountain at the bottom of the hill. We just need
Gotcha.
to tap some brakes. That's it. That's it.
Right.
And then we can go back up the next hill. It's
Right.
all great, you know.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. What's your massive growth look like? What is your massive change?
So I did about 27 real estate transactions last year as a
Great.
realtor. My goal is to do 50,
Mhm.
and as well as be an executive in the property management space and continue to deliver world class service. Listen, I don't want to get hate mail or anything like that, but the past year and a half that I've been really aggressively going after real estate and spending about 10 to 15% of my time being a realtor for other people, I realized just how bad and or lazy most realtors must be, because I did 27 transactions. I'm not even joking, Josh. It took 10 to 15% of my time to do 27 transactions.
Yeah.
So I think that it'll definitely be a growth. It'll definitely be a stretch, but I think I can do 50 in about the same amount of time if I'm just more intentional about my marketing and things like that.
Hmm.
And I'm really excited to do a whole lot there. And like I said, we just opened up our Pittsburgh office. We are opening up our Phoenix and Detroit next year. We're actually working on a second acquisition in Detroit. So we've got a really great guy on our team on the M&A side of things. That's very
Great.
exciting. And also, I I'm part of the growth team. There's 5 or 6 of us that are making this growth happen. One of the things that I need to do is create the organic growth after all these acquisitions, and that means starting a meetup. So for those that know, I started the Lancaster meetup. For those that know, I started the York meetup and then turned those over to other people, and they have been successfully been running ever since. I started the Harrisburg meetup and have been running that. I am going to be starting about 15 or 20 meetups across the U.S. next
Whoa,
year,
very
and
cool.
getting those up and running. Yeah, so
Dude,
I
that's
have,
awesome. That's a big goal. That's a big
if
one.
I do a quarter of what I'm hoping to get done in 2022, it's still going to be a massive year.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're gonna hate my massive goal because it's so small. I'm gonna double marketing and look to triple my volume for 2022 and
There you go. You're
from 21
3x
to
in two.
2022. Right. But here's the thing. I feel like I've been playing around with my marketing for the last 2 years to kind of hone in on what needs to be done, what's effective and what's working. And I've been looking for the catalyst, and guess what? Here it is. We got a new year. It starts tomorrow. Anyway.
Nice.
All right. So look, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're like, hey, well, all right, what do I need to do to take massive action? All right, let's talk about it. Right? It's pretty simple, and it's not what you think. If you ever made a list of goals, um, you start down and you write down things you want to accomplish. It's the same first step with everything, right? Write down what you want to accomplish. The second step here is to rank what's important, right? There's a lot of things that we put on the list, a lot of things that I've looked at my life and said, you know what, I don't know, I want to make $20 million next year. I want to, do this. I want to do that. And you make a list, and then you look at your information. You look at the things on that list, and you realize that you're not really that motivated to have an 8-pack, right? I mean, I'm 43. I'm never going to have 6-pack abs again. It's not happening. And not because it's not possible, but because it's not on my higher my priority list, right? It's
Right.
not something that I'm willing to sacrifice the time necessary to get that done. But there are things on that list that I'm willing to walk through fire for, right? So that's what you have to find out. What are you willing to walk through fire for? So take your list and rank them from first to last as most important. And then anything that's not in the top 5, get rid of it. Get rid
Right.
of it. Right?
What's
We
going to
don't.
bring you the most joy? What's going to bring you, like, I have a little bit of like hoarder tendencies, just because of my growing up, and I won't share those stories, but like comes almost like from a little bit of a scarcity, and so I always have to ask the question: does this thing that I have on my desk bring me joy? Does this thing that I don't want to have, throw out, does it bring me joy? And if it doesn't bring me joy, just get rid of it. If you have a thing on your list to do that doesn't bring you that the accomplishment of it won't bring you massive amounts of joy, just eliminate it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And the thing that a lot of people miss though is the word you use there. It's not happiness, because happiness isn't the goal. Happiness comes and goes. It's this and that. Joy is that overwhelming feeling of accomplishment, and that thing that somebody can't take away.
Right.
Even when your dog dies, you can feel joy. Even when something terrible happens in your life, you can still feel joy. It's different than happiness. Um,
100%.
yeah. So
And
all right.
I love where you go next with this, which is write a date. My uncle, who just passed away, like just before COVID set in, he was one of my biggest business mentors. He said, I was like 16, 17. He said, Judah, when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, oh, wow, that was a nice dream. Do you know what the difference between a dream and a goal is? A date.
Hmm.
So
It's a
dreams are
deadline.
things that you wake up and they go away. A goal is something that has a date beside it, and it's gonna happen.
Yep. Yep. It's awesome. It's awesome. All right. So once you have your top 5, what do? Yeah, I got my top 5. I got a date on them. The next step here is to write down the first step to accomplishing the goal. The first step, the hardest step in any long journey is the first one.
Right.
And then that's followed by the next one and the next one and the next one. Massive growth and massive action is the result of small daily incremental movements.
Right.
That's what we're looking for. And
Right.
so you got your 5 big goals for the year. You need to write down what you need to do regarding those goals in the next week.
Right. And
That's
I
it.
think I think that first I think that look, I've been on a fitness journey and going to the gym every day, or at least 3 times a week. And any one time going to the gym doesn't make a difference, but it's the cumulative effect of
That's
that.
right.
So any one small step doesn't make a big deal. But you know what? I immediately made massive and immediate action.
Yep.
And I told somebody from January 1st through February 15th of 2021, I'm going to be in the gym every single day, 7 days a week. And I
Mhm.
joined the gym. And then, like, after being there for a week, I hired a personal trainer. Like, initially, I took massive and immediate action, something that declared it to myself, my subconscious, and the world. This is what I'm doing now. I'm not backing away from it.
Yep.
When I
Yep.
when I when I wanted to do when I wanted to uh, do 50 units next year of real estate transactions. I went out and I bought the URL listinlancaster.com, and I bought the URL thejudahhoover.com, and I put up a website, and I did things like that. I bought a whole bunch of postcards and I mailed them out to 1,000 different clients, and I took massive immediate action. Step one on your goal. And remember, if you're not willing to take massive and immediate action, it's probably not one of your top five anyway. You
Right.
probably misranked things. You're not willing to walk through fire if your first step isn't something that you're willing to just be massive about.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I love this line. It's a great quote. You can have whatever you want, but you can't have everything. Right? You can have whatever you want, but you can't have everything. Pick what is most important, what is going to give you the most joy, which is going to fill you up and get you out of bed in the morning, because that's what's going to keep your life going. That's going to put a smile on your face ultimately. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, I mean, pretty simple here. Massive action. Write down all your goals, pick the top 5, put a deadline on them, write down your next step, and then next Friday you're going to do the same thing. You're going to write down here's are the 5 things I need to do to accomplish these 5 things, and I'm going to take a next step. In the following week, in the following week, 52 steps later, you're going to be at the end of that road. You're going to be at the end of that road. All right. So, another thing I wanted to cover in today's show. Let's look back at the 2021 Time Person of the Year. I mean, we
Not
got to have
just the
some man crush
time,
time.
not just the time person of the year. More significantly, the Josh Weidman's heart person of the year.
Listen, you know what won it for me? His fabulous tweets.
Dude, I got to tell you, not just his fabulous tweet, the tweet. I mean, listen. I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan. I'm not a socialism fan. Like, I hate that this sounds partisan. But I just think objectively, if
Yeah.
you can't be a dyed red Stalinist and still understand how beautiful of a tweet that is, I mean, because typically, like, in politics and business, we don't see people calling each other out like that. The
Right,
only
you
the only place we
don't.
usually see that level of trash talk is in sports,
Yeah.
and before an MMA fight or basketball or boxing or in the music community. There's certain subsets of the music community that they love to trash talk each other. In the business and political world, for this level of trash talk to happen, and by the way, I'm always suspect of it when it happens in the sports world, because I think that half of it's just hype and marketing, and they're just it just what goes in with it. To be a 100% sincere, genuine burn like that, How can you not love
In
that
case
guy?
you missed it, it's at the bottom right under Elon's face. He said, "I keep forgetting you're still alive." Tweeted to Bernie Sanders. It's
Right. So
great.
the backstory there, and you're exactly right. The backstory there is, Bernie called him out and was like, giving him a hard time about how he didn't pay enough taxes, or yeah, he needs to
Yeah,
definitely sell more stock to pay
this
more
dude,
taxes or something like that.
12 billion in
And
taxes, in personal taxes in 2021. I mean, come on.
right, and Elon Musk says, "Oh man, I keep on forgetting you're alive." It's just funny.
It's great. It's great. So let's talk about the Time Magazine Person of the Year and what he accomplished this year. Led Tesla to a $1 trillion market capitalization rate. Now, that's insane because it's the most valuable car company in the world by far. By far. It's
Yeah,
nuts.
wasn't it like, 3 Fords and 8 Chevys? Like that's how
Right.
big
It's
it,
it's wild.
don't check my math exactly on that, but it's like it's crazy.
It's a lot. Second, I mean, he launched with not even with the same company. He has the most valuable car company in the world, which he founded, launched in a very competitive market of other cars, right? And now, oh yeah, his other company, it launched the first crewed mission to space that didn't include a professional astronaut. That's wild. Um, okay. One thing I really love about what he did is that he took one of his Teslas and put it on one of his rockets and blasted it into space and then just let it go to float out in the ether. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. All right. So also, first persons who with a net worth over $300 billion, and I know that technically I'm not supposed to have a capital B and a capital T when we're talking about billions and trillions, but it's really hard for me to write those without a capital. Like that's a lot of money.
Really? That you're not supposed to capitalize billion?
No, lowercase. Same
Really?
thing with trillions. Yeah, it's
I
wild.
I did not know that. And I
Um,
also didn't know that he was this was news to me. That he was the first person with a net worth over 300 billion. I'm sure I know that adjusted for inflation and blah blah blah, there's been people who are richer than him, but so that means that technically he's the richest person alive right now?
oh yeah, oh yeah. I
Huh.
mean, and Bezos is number two, and if he hadn't gotten divorced,
Right.
he'd still be have the lead. But whatever.
Right. Right.
Um, I love
Elon
the
Elon and his wife are still going strong, still having crazy named babies.
no. I think they just got divorced.
Did they?
He's got a real messed up personal life. It's like wife number 4 or 7 or something like that, and he's got like 12 kids.
Wow.
It's wild. Anyway, personal life aside, that's why when you look at people and you idolize them, you got to realize that you're buying the whole boat. If
Right.
you're going to trade lives, you got to get it all.
Right.
Anyway, so he paid $12 billion in personal taxes, or
Hold on,
will,
you
I
skipped
guess.
something here. So were these 900 broadband satellites
Yep,
launched through SpaceX? Was that
yep.
just last year, or is that since
Last
conception?
year,
Yeah,
last
I
year. That's
and
wild,
that's
huh?
just the SpaceX Starlink one because like I, I remember just being shocked. I read something about what SpaceX's like total launches were.
Hmm.
It's
It's a lot.
it's a lot of like total. They've launched like 2,000 things. I mean, we
It's
hear about the
wild.
first geriatric, all geriatric team, or first, blah blah blah, this and that. That is one of them. Like, was that him, or was that Blue Origin that was like first crew of people all over 65?
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
I
so
missed it.
the outliers make the headlines, but the sheer volume that
Yeah.
SpaceX, the sheer volume of launches is unbelievable.
I mean, you think about that. That's like what, 30 a day? That's insane. Like 30 launches into space of a satellite every single day throughout 2021.
I don't know that it was 2,000 or
Oh,
if it
I'm
was
sorry. That's
2,000 for
three.
the
My math is off. Three,
yeah,
not
yeah.
30. Yeah.
But
Okay.
for 900 in one year, that would be three satellites. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if
Yeah.
they were if that's 900 different launches though, or if there were some launches had. I'm sure that some of those launches had multiple satellites in them.
Yeah, probably.
It's
Probably. So
impressive no matter what it is.
it is. Terry had a really good question here. Is Tesla a car company or a data company? It's not a data company, but it certainly may be a technology company. I think that's a lot. That has a lot to do with the valuation of the company, right? I mean, you got all these other car companies that are dumping money into electric vehicles, and they're just trying to catch up. The technology that goes along with it, that's being developed at Tesla, including the batteries, including the driverless cars and a lot of the other stuff that they're constantly developing new technology. It's not necessarily available anywhere else, and they're on the cutting edge, and a lot of these other car manufacturers that have been around for a while, they're racing to catch up. So
Yes,
anyway,
very much so.
yeah. So all right, last but not least, we're going to talk about next year. Okay. So our show schedule beginning in 2022, we're going to be live every Thursday at noon. We would love you to join us on Thursday, the January 6th. Oh my man, 2020. How did I mess that up? Sorry. Typos
2020,
on the first
you're
show.
only 2 years off.
That's right. That's right. We're coming back to start the year with our 200th episode. So we'd love you to join us. We'd love you to invite your friends, like and share, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean that's all we got for today. A nice quick New Year's Eve show to get you rolling and get you focused on having massive, massive growth in 2022. Focus on what's important. Put your time where your heart is, and the money will follow.
Amen, brother. I'm looking
That's
forward to a
awesome.
great new year. Happy New
That's
Year,
right.
everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you next year. Till then, go make some money. Have a great time. See you soon. See you guys.